Thank you for coming. On behalf of the family, Esther, Bill's daughter Tori, though they were unable to be here, Bill's son John, his wife Karen, and Bill's grandson Theo, Tori and John's mother Sally, Nick or Nico, to Bill, his wife Laura, granddaughter Jessica, and her mother Shelley. The family welcomes you for coming. We're here to celebrate Bill's life, to delight in his accomplishments, and to recall our memories with him. We remember Bill's very gentle manner, though there was certainly strength in that man. His delightful sense of humor, his integrity, his interest in our lives and in the world, his enthusiasm for learning, his spirit of adventure, and of course his love for his family and his friends. We also come together as a community to mourn his passing. We honor his beliefs in the soul and its condition after it's no longer associated with the body. Beliefs from the teachings of the Baha'i Faith, of which Bill was a member for many years. Can you hear me? Okay. I'd like to briefly explain just a bit about these beliefs and what happens at a Baha'i funeral and how we're going to proceed this afternoon. We're in this life for a certain number of years to develop our intellect, our skills, and most important, our virtues, our character. This one is so important because that's what we're going to be taking with us when our soul leaves this earthly plane, the body, and it goes to the heavenly realm. We know little about this from the divine teachers, and of course we're familiar with what's been dreamed up and shared in books and in movies. Death has a pretty grim reputation. But some of us like to think about passing as a graduation. We're in school, think about your own life. We're in school for a certain number of years, and during that time we're to learn certain things. We're given tests to see how well we've learned the lessons. Some of them we ace. We pass them with flying colors. Others we struggle with. And the tests are not a judgment on who we are or our value as a human being. They're simply a yardstick to find out what we haven't quite learned yet, and then we still have time to learn them again, and probably other tests to come along the way to see what we haven't yet understood. At the time of graduation, we're likely both thrilled, relieved that the process is over. We're excited about what's to come. But we're leaving an environment with which we're familiar. We're comfortable with it. And we're being launched into a new world that we really don't know what it is. It's bigger, it's grander, it's a little scary because it's an unknown. Whether you left school and you got a job, or you married and had a family, it was all an unknown. Is it not the same with graduating from this life? We're here for a certain amount of time. During that time, we have certain things to learn. We're given tests, we're given difficulties and problems in life to determine how well we've learned them and how we have developed as a person. Some of these tests we pass very easily with flying colors, and others we struggle with, maybe throughout our whole life. But indeed, we have those tests to continue to encourage us to develop and learn the lessons. When it's time to leave, we're going to something grander, but something unknown. So indeed, it's fairly scary. Listen to what Baha'u'llah says, though, about what's to come. Know of a truth that the soul, after its separation from the body, will continue to progress until it attains the presence of God in a state and condition which neither the revolution of the ages and centuries nor the changes and chances of the world can alter. It will endure as long as the kingdom of God, His sovereignty, His dominion and power will endure. It will manifest the signs of God and His attributes, and will reveal His loving kindness and bounty. Baha'u'llah says, "The movement of my pen is stilled when it attempteth to befittingly describe the loftiness and glory of so exalted a station. The honor with which the hand of mercy will invest the soul is such as no tongue can adequately reveal, nor any earthly agency describe. In another, he says, now let us consider the soul. Its only movement is toward perfection. Growth and progress alone constitute the motion of the soul. Divine perfection is infinite. Therefore, the progress of the soul is also infinite. From the very birth of a human being, the soul progresses, the intellect grows, and knowledge increases. When the body dies, the soul lives on. All the differing degrees of created physical beings are limited, but the soul is limitless. So this is how we come to think of and honor and remember dear Bill today. Again, the family thanks you for coming to honor him.
So this is a song that's about being born. So we'll think of this for Bill being born into this world and being born into the next world as well. If you know it, sing it with me. If you don't, you'll be in the second time. On the day that Bill was born, on the day Bradley-DeTally was born, on the day that Bill was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, they smiled and raised up their hands on the day that Bill was born. Sing it with me. On the day that Bill was born, on the day that Bill was born, on the day that Bill was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, they smiled and raised up their hands on the day that Bill was born. On the day that Bill was born. On the day Bradley-DeTally was born. On the day Bill was born, the angels sang and they blew on their horns and they danced, they smiled and raised up their hands on the day that Bill was born. Raising up their hands on the day that Bill was born. Raising up their hands on the day that Bill was born.
That was one of Bill's favorite songs. Seems fitting to play that, and Esther asked specifically that one be sung and celebrated today.
That was a lovely tribute, I must say. The nature of the soul after death can never be described, nor is it meet and permissible to reveal its whole character to the eyes of men. The prophets and messengers of God have been sent down for the sole purpose of guiding mankind to the straight path of truth. The purpose underlying their revelation have been to educate all men, that they may, at the hour of death, ascend in the utmost purity and sanctity, and with absolute detachment to the throne of the Most High. The light which these souls radiate is responsible for the progress of the world and the advancement of its peoples. They are like unto leaven, which leaveneth the world of being, and constitute the animating force through which the arts and wonders of the world are made manifest. Through them the clouds rain their bounty upon men, and their earth bringeth forth its fruits. All things must needs have a cause, a mode of power, an animating principle. These souls and symbols of detachment have provided and will continue to provide the supreme moving impulse in the world of being. Know thou of a truth, that if the soul of man hath walked in the ways of God, it will assuredly return and be gathered to the glory of the Beloved. By the righteousness of God, it shall attain a station such as no pen can depict or tongue describe. The soul that hath remained faithful to God, to the cause of God, and stood unwaveringly firm in his path, shall, after his ascension, be possessed of such powers that all the worlds which the Almighty hath created can benefit through him. Such a soul provideth, at the bidding of the ideal King and divine Educator, the pure leaven that leaveneth the world of being, and furnisheth the power through which the arts and wonders of the world are made manifest. Consider how meal needeth leaven to be leavened with. Those souls that are the symbols of detachment are the leaven of the world. Meditate on this and be of the thankful.
البهاء الذي أشرق من أفق السماء العطاء عليكم يا أهل البهاء. يا إلهي هذا عبدك وابن عبدك الذي آمن بك وبآياتك وتوجه إليك منقطعا عن سواك. إنك أنت أرحم الراحمين. أسألك يا غفار الذنوب وستار العيوب بأن تعمل به ما ينبغي لسماع جودك وبحر إفضالك، وتدخله في جوار رحمتك الكبرى التي سبقت الأرض والسماء. لا إله إلا أنت الغفور الكريم.
He is God. Exalted is He, the Lord of loving kindness and bounty. Glory be unto Thee, O my God, the Lord omnipotent. I testify to Thine omnipotence and Thy might, Thy sovereignty and Thy loving kindness, Thy grace and Thy power, the oneness of Thy being and the unity of Thine essence, Thy sanctity and exaltation above the world of being and all that is therein. O my God, Thou seest me detached from all save Thee, holding fast unto Thee and turning unto the ocean of Thy bounty, to the heaven of Thy favor, to the day star of thy grace. Lord, I bear witness that in thy servant thou hast reposed thy trust, and that is the spirit wherewith thou hast given life to the world. I ask of thee, by the splendor of the orb of thy revelation, mercifully to accept from him that which he hath achieved in thy days. Grant then that he may be invested with the glory of thy good pleasure and adorned with thine acceptance. O my Lord, I myself and all created things bear witness unto thy might, and I pray thee not to turn away from thyself this spirit that hath ascended unto thee, unto thy heavenly place, thine exalted paradise, and thy retreats of nearness, O thou who art the Lord of all men. Grant then, O my God, that thy servant may consort with thy chosen ones, thy saints and thy messengers, in heavenly places that the pen cannot tell, nor the tongue recount. O my Lord, the poor one hath verily hastened unto the kingdom of thy wealth, the stranger unto his home within thy precincts, he that is sore athirst to the heavenly river of thy bounty. Deprive him not, O Lord, from his share of the banquet of thy grace, and from the favor of thy bounty. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the gracious, the all-bountiful. O my God, thy trust hath been returned unto thee. It behooveth thy grace and thy bounty, that have compassed thy dominions on earth and in heaven, to vouchsafe unto thy newly welcomed one thy gifts and thy bestowals, and the fruits of the tree of thy grace. Powerful art thou to do as thou willest. There is none other God but thee, the gracious, the most bountiful, the compassionate, the bestower, the pardoner, the precious, the all-knowing. I testify, O my God, that thou hast enjoined upon men to honor their guest, and he that hath ascended unto thee hath verily reached thee and attained thy presence. Deal with him then according to thy grace and bounty. By thy glory I know of a certainty that thou wilt not withhold thyself from that which thou hast commanded thy servants, nor wilt thou deprive him that hath clung to the cord of thy bounty, and hath ascended to the dayspring of thy wealth. There is none other God but thee, the one, the single, the powerful, the omniscient, the bountiful. Baha'u'llah.
As you see, we're sharing some of the favorite writings of Bill's about the soul, about the next life, sharing some of the music that he loved. And now for sweet Esther, whom he loved so much.
Who always had to get the last word in, I might add.
Or at least some word.
Yeah. Okay. Friends, boys and girls, kids and pug dogs, this is no ordinary obit. Bradley-DeTally was born in Jamestown, New York, to Milo and Anna. Milo was a steelworker, a janitor, and Anna ran the corner creamery on whatchamacallit Street, don't you know. They were hard-working. Anna's cookies filled my hips out for years. Her sauce was famous. He had a brother, Joe, called Joe the Bro, and I was the Broess. Bill's love for his daughter, Tori, her mom, Sally, son, John, wife, Karen, grandson, Theo, my Nico, wife, Laura, his wife, Laura, and Mom, Shelley, and our granddaughter, Jessica, knew no bounds. Our Bill, at 10 years old, had a girlfriend. He liked her. He gave his mother's black rosary beads, round black pearl-like beads interspersed with silver, to her. The girlfriend wrote, "He was my first boyfriend. I didn't know Catholic. The next day I went to school and wore the beads as a necklace. Boy, did I get into a whole lot of trouble." Needless to say, the rosary beads were returned to his mother. Bill was an altar boy. He was immersed in generations of family of three-decker houses with Grandpa and Grandma on the bottom, Aunt Sarah and Tony in the middle, and Bill and Joe and Anna and Milo on the top. Next door, cousins lived in similar circumstances. He went to Northwestern University, and it changed his life. From graduation on, he seemed economically touched by God. He visited the Baha'i House of Worship, often, which is near Northwestern, and he went with either Billy Cleary or Tim Moore, but he said he was unaware. Girlfriends, okay. Jan was a high school sweetheart, early college. Nikki, beautiful Nikki in Seattle, way too young for him, the wife says, was next. And when I met him, 5 women were closing in. Jan and Nikki and I are close friends now. While in Donetsk, Russia, in 1992, we spoke to students at a college, and he introduced me as his second wife, and I interrupted and said, "And the last." We met, married quickly, and one hotter-than-hell day in Sparks, Nevada, with the VW door open and a hot, glossy-eyed pug sitting near him, he announced, "Someone told my mother I had gypsy in him." I dead-eyed him the only way a wife could. He became a Baha'i in Manhattan Beach, California in 1985, and we married there. Cut to the chase. In 1990, Russia was opening up to different faiths. First, we went to the USSR with an amateur musicians group of young people from Moscow. We went to Ulan-Ude, Novosibirsk. For 63 days, we were aging rock stars. Then we went in for a year's stay, as Gorbachev requested different faith-based communities send people in to be of service to the people. That's when Bill and I became like Huey and Louie Duck. With webbed feet, Esther and Bill soared humbly into a city called Dnepropetrovsk, chosen because we couldn't spell, pronounce, or remember the name. Our adventures are in the book Without a Net, A Sojourn in Russia. We returned to Seychelles, United States, after 3 years in Ukraine and Belarus. We would live again in Seattle, where Bill became the oldest Americorps member in the country. And then we were in Los Angeles with family and called to Jamestown to live with his mother. Puggy would overdose on her cookies and go to lard heaven. Baha'u'llah and the writings of the Baha'i Faith represent the core of his love. Bill loved his family, and his main passion was racial justice, too. He established a downtown dialogue for race unity group in Jamestown, New York, and caught the attention and love of Amo Houghton, a representative in the U.S. Congress, and simply put, downtown dialogue cooked, and several institute-like centers were established in cities in the surrounding areas. We were immersed in this cause with our dear beloved African-American friends in Jamestown, a city where the shackles of skin color privilege were ever present. Finally, I need to sit down and write the memoir. Bill wants this, urged me to. Please hold me in your hearts so that I may render all of Bill's life and mine with fullness, vigor, and integrity. He was a lover of humankind. Our marriage was a fortress of well-being. We love you all.
We have 2 special messages that we would like to share with you. One is from the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the United States, which is the paramount institution in the United States for the Baha'is. It's written to Esther Bradley-DeTally. Dearest Baha'i friend, we were saddened to learn of the passing of William Anthony DeTally, your beloved husband, a devoted Baha'i, and a man whose great personal warmth, zest for living, wonderful sense of humor, and deeply felt love for humanity won him affection from all those whose lives he touched. He will surely be missed. We remember with special appreciation Bill's dedication to the cause of race unity, seen in his readiness to participate in any activity, including service on many a local committee, advancing understanding of Baha'u'llah's pivotal teaching of the oneness of the human family. Recalled with pleasure, as well, is the admiration, your marriage, so manifestly built around mutual affirmation of Baha'i ideals, inspired in your fellow believers. Your loving partnership in service to the faith we hold sacred was seen by many as exemplary. Please accept our heartfelt condolences on the loss you have sustained and share them with family and friends. Be certain your dear husband will be remembered in our prayers beneath the lofty dome of the majestic Mother Temple of the West, where we will offer supplications for the eternal progress of his precious soul and for your sweet reunion someday in the realms of light with tender Baha'i love. This comes from a personal friend. Dearest Esther, today I learned with heavy heart the sad news of Bill's passing, of dear Bill's passing. His luminous and radiant face is right in front of me and will forever stay in my mind with love and affection. On Sunday, I will have a fireside with many friends in Dnepropetrovsk.
Anyway,
Say it again. Dnepropetrovsk. So, kind of. When I get to that again, you fill it in. On Sunday, I will have a fireside with many of my friends from Dnepropetrovsk. Close. Where we will say special prayers for dear Bill. Without the selfless services of your blessed family, this community would not have been where it is now. Dnepropetrovsk is chosen by the Universal House of Justice as one of the few learning sites in Europe for junior youth activities. We love you and respect you. Please accept our most sincere condolences on this sad occasion. Best regards, Vafa Moshtak.
He's on the Ukrainian national team.
And he's from what city?
Dnepropetrovsk.
Thank you very much.
I know I say it wrong, but they're not here. So
But you say it wrongly better than I do. So.
Okay, this is one of Bill's favorite prayers. I know he would want you to sing nice and loud. It's a call and response. Just sing back to me. So it goes like this. Oh my God. That's your part. Okay, let's try it again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Unite the hearts. Unite the hearts of thy servants, and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. And abide in thy law. Help them, O God. Help them, O God. In their endeavor. And grant them strength. To serve thee. To serve thee. Leave them not to themselves, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps, by the light of thy knowledge, light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts, by thy love. Verily thou art their helper, and their Lord. Verily thou art their helper, and their Lord. And their Lord.
The funeral for a Baha'i, as you see, is made up largely of songs and prayers and writings and memories unique to that individual, what the family and friends think would be especially lovely in remembering them. There is one prayer that we do say at the funerals, the prayer for the departed. And at this prayer, we will have one person recite it. But if everyone who is able to can please stand during the recitation of this prayer, it's an obligatory prayer. There are a few in the Baha'i Faith, but this is one of them. Some see it as a meditation. Others see it as a sweet opportunity to recite the last obligatory prayer on their behalf. And so you needn't say anything. He will recite part of it, and then there are phrases that he will say 19 times each. I will let you know when you can sit down. Thank you.
O my God, this is thy servant, and the son of thy servant, who hath believed in thee and in thy signs, and set his face towards thee, wholly detached from all except thee. Thou art verily of those who show mercy, the most merciful. Deal with him, O thou who forgivest the sins of men, and concealest their faults, as beseemeth the heaven of thy bounty, and the ocean of thy grace. Grant him admission within the precincts of thy transcendent mercy that was before the foundation of earth and heaven. There is no God but thee, the ever-forgiving, the most generous. Allahu Abha. We all verily worship God. 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 Allahu Abha. We all verily bow down before God. 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 Allahu Abha. We all verily are devoted unto God. 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 Allahu Abha. We all verily give thanks unto God. 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 Allahu Abha. We all verily give praise unto God. 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 Allahu Abha. We all verily are patient in God. 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 We all verily are patient in God.
Feel free to sing along. You'll know it. Standing on the mountain, looking across the bay, Queen of Carmel reigns, she reigns majestically. Cry out, O Zion, cry out to your Lord, cry out, O Zion, circle round in adoration, circle round your Lord. Unto God, the Lord of Lords, becomes nearer in heaven. Land and sea rejoice this day, the day of her revelation. Cry out, O Zion, cry out to your Lord, cry out, O Zion, circle round in adoration, circle round your Lord, robed in white and crowned in gold, she stands for unity. God will sail his ark on me, mentioned in the book of Acts. Cry out, O Zion, cry out to your Lord, cry out, O Zion, circle round in adoration, circle round your Lord, circle round in adoration, circle round your Lord.
And so we celebrate the fact that Bill apparently learned all that he was able to learn, developed the qualities that he was able to develop, and was released from the confines of a weakening body to soar in the realms above. We hope that the beauty and the comfort of the words that you heard after its soul's departure from the body will go with you today. We enter a different condition when we leave this life. It is not the end. As you see, we believe that there's a next world where the soul continues to progress, the soul that each of us has now, and we're assured that we will recognize one another, especially our loved ones, in the next life, and it will be a great reunion. The soul continues to progress through the grace of the Creator the good works and prayers that are done on Bill's behalf while we're still here. Sorrow and joy embrace today. Sorrow because we're still here and he's no longer with us. But I hope we do find comfort and joy in remembering his life and the knowledge, as Baha'u'llah says, when the soul attaineth the presence of God, it will assume the form that best befitteth its immortality and is worthy of its celestial habitation. Love you, Bill. We miss you, Bill.
Oh my God, oh thou forgiver of sins, bestower of gifts, dispeller of afflictions. Verily I beseech thee to forgive the sins of such as have abandoned the physical garment and have ascended to the spiritual world. May our love guide you home. May our prayers carry you home. Oh my Lord, purify them from trespasses, dispel their sorrows and change their darkness into light. Cause them to enter the garden of happiness and delight. Cleanse them with the most pure water and grant them to behold thy might. Cleanse them with the most pure water and grant them to behold thy splendor on the loftiest mount. May our love guide you home. May our prayers carry you home.
Hi, I feel really happy, because I just sense that Bill is in a fantastic place and happy. I once asked Bill about relationship when I was considering marriage and what he suggested, and one of the things he said was that the more enthusiastic you feel about the person, the easier it is. It was always a warm experience seeing Bill and Esther, and they were truly exemplary. Esther gave me a hint about my possibly being friends with a youngish man, and we later got married. I don't exactly know what to say about one episode about Bill, but just loving his energy and his warmth and his humor and his passion and excitement and enthusiasm. But I will just mention that once after my husband passed away, he and Esther came down with their VW van, and I needed some help. I was kind of chaotic in my house, and they came and they helped me make my home more orderly. So I don't know what to thank him for most, but I just enjoy him so much, his energy, and rooting for you.
I love Bradley-DeTally. I love his passion for race unity. It was something he always championed, and he encouraged me to be brave and courageous about how I championed it, and I'm African American. But he loved it. He loved black people. He loved being mistaken for being black. He was an awesome, sweet soul, and he gave such good counsel to all of us. We all talked to him like he was our sweet grandfather, and he gave such wonderful fatherly advice by not saying much, but just listening to us pour our hearts out, and I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, got a lot of stories, but I don't know that any kind of fit right now. The thing that's on my heart right now is for all of those who are out there championing the cause of race unity, just think of Bill. Call on him, and he will help you. That's all I got.
Yeah, he will
Love
be
you,
at
Bill.
your side.
Love you, Esther.
He showed up for me last night at the Nelson's fireside.
Thank you.
My darling Esther, how could I ever forget you and Bill coming to see me as I lay in my hospital bed with food poisoning and the roof on my house gone and the rain was pouring, and you came to console me because you knew how much it would mean to me. You and Bill telling jokes, acting silly, trying to keep me happy while I was so very miserable. And of course, I will never forget the time that you were at my house with Puggy, and Puggy decided that he would relieve himself in my bag, which was a beautiful new leather bag, and Puggy really loved the smell, and so he just peed right there in my purse. So I will continue to send you always Puggy jokes, Puggy comics, Puggy whatever's I find for you, because I know how much you and Bill love those pugs. Anyway, who will ever forget Bill and his Volkswagen, and you two living in the various places you did, and how lucky I have been that for decades I had your love and I had your absolute unconditional acceptance and affection, and you know you've had mine. We will miss Bill terribly, but you know what? He's a warrior on the other side now, and I know that with him there and us still here, he's going to be helping us along the way. So I love you dearly, and I will see you always on Facebook, in person, somewhere around the world. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the one time Bill flew, he flew to South Africa, and we were there together in Cape Town, joking about it. So it was great to be with him there. It's great to know you all these years and to have such a wonderful time being loved by you and loving you both. Aloha pa, my darlings.
Hi, Esther. So some of my fondest memories of Bill and you were when I would come over to your house in Pasadena and visit. And after each of my parents passing, and after a major breakup, I was able to come and speak my woes with you guys and talk it out and get your wisdom, insight, and your spirituality rubbed off on me. So I want to say thank you so much for both of you guys for that. Love you.
Gonna miss Bill, gonna miss the times that give me life lessons. It's just sitting with him and just him, his spirit, man, the smile.
Esther, every time we came to visit you and Bill, I would get really excited because I knew I was about to get sort of a heart full of just good vibes and love, and the fact that both of you were very accepting, and Bill is just, he had this interest in what was going on with me, and I really loved that. I really loved being able to tell him how things were going, Since we shared that whole engineering thing, he liked to hear about it, and I'm gonna miss him for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having many more great conversations with you.
I really enjoyed getting to know Bill a little bit when I was in Pasadena, and he was always sweet to me, and like these guys said, very interested in everyone's life and how things are going. And yeah, he talked about engineering, and he talked about like some time working at JPL. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a really interesting character, really full of love, and he's going to be missed.
Well, what to say? Bill, such a sweetheart. He was so kind and loving and gentle and fierce, and just brought a smile to my face every time I saw him, or whenever I talked on the phone with him, getting to Esther or just chatting with him. He always had something sweet and funny to say. I remember talking to Bill, visiting over there one time, and he said to me, what are the kids doing? And both Eileen and Ian were at Bosch High School for the Institute for the Study of Global Prosperity. And he said, what is that? I want to know. I want to know what the kids, what the kids are learning. I'm not too old to learn all of this. So I told him a little bit, and I said, you know what? They can tell you better than I can. So he said, okay, you bring them over. When they come back, you bring them over. So a few weeks later, we went over and he sat them down and he said, okay, tell me, I want to know, what is it you're learning? Oh, this is so great. What the House of Justice is asking our undergrads to learn and to be and to grow to. I wish I was young enough, he says, that I could go to that too. The interest, the attention that he was paying to them and learning what they were talking about, and his excitement was just very touching, very sweet. We miss Bill, we love Bill, but we look forward to being with him again. Abdul Baha said, we will dance in the next life. I know this because I looked it up. So I'm hoping that Bill will hold a place on his card for a dance. Okay, he'll get through all of you first, but I want a time with Bill to dance too. Love you.